We believe that all gun laws are an infringement on the Second Amendment, and more importantly, on your right to keep and bear arms as you see fit. All of them, including the National Firearms Act. Let's talk about the basis of firearms laws. It's unfortunate that a lot of American history is that big moves by government to limit the people started with whomever they were trying to scapegoat at the time. And unfortunately, that was often freed and freeing slaves. When the slaves were being freed in the Reconstruction era post-World War II, and even during World War II, those states and eventually at the federal level were very concerned that these freed slaves might, be upset that they were enslaved for hundreds of years and that they might take up arms. And so as a result of total baiting of people's racial fears of black people, they passed these gun laws, even though the vast majority of black people were just happy not to be slaves anymore and were hoping they could go and do something for themselves and live a peaceful life. And those gun laws allowed for groups like the Klan and other racist groups to pop up and attack those groups of freed slaves with impunity because those freed slaves couldn't fight back. And thankfully, a lot of those groups finally just started arming themselves, in some cases illegally, and saying, hey, listen, we need to be able to protect ourselves like anyone else. But that is the root of gun laws in this country. And we know that every single gun law since, and many other laws, have been disproportionately enforced against communities of color, which means that the vast majority, or a solid majority of the people that are in prison for gun laws, for gun law violations, are people of color, even though white people have a higher rate of gun ownership. So if you are just someone who wants to end gun laws, or if you're someone who wants to end disproportionate use and enforcement of laws against people of color, or if you're both of those things like me, so many great reasons to end the war on guns. And we will absolutely refuse to enforce that. And we will absolutely decline to, enforce any laws that are on the books. And we will pressure the legislature to remove those laws.